Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and long awaited the Sketchbook Flip-Through. This one is actually probably the most exciting one that I get to show off because I have actually shown this off a lot. I've done live streams about this, I've made TikToks using this, I very publicly show this one off. And what's actually really cute is I don't get to talk too much about the context of these drawings, so it will be exciting to show you guys and show you guys my progress because this is actually a sketchbook that I've had since July 2019 and I ended it for June 2020. It's obvious, we're in the middle of June July, I'm sorry, but I am still very excited to show this off to you. Very huge warning. This is Editing Patrick just popping in to tell y'all, actually everything is going to be censored. Any event pages censored, and here's why. I have certain friends and family that can and will use it as evidence to put me in certain locations, so I'm not even gonna risk it. Oh yeah, and I don't need people to realize how fucked up in the head I am. So, continuing. Up here is my cover. I really was trying to work out my new Posca pens and I got bored about halfway through, so it's fine. My sketchbook pages never look all that amazing anyway. And here we have the very first page that I did back in July 2019, hence the red, white, and blue aesthetic. And a lot of this, don't worry, it's updated, I promise. And here we have a thing that I did for, I believe their name at the time was Riot Cakes. It's their draw this in their style of one of their OCs. I don't remember much about it. I just know that I didn't follow this artist very much longer after this competition. I can tell you that much. And while over that summer, one of my friends, their name is A Human Being on Instagram, they were posting about lesbian Medusa and all that, and I was like, hey, can I draw them? And I had this whole little concept going on. This is Juniper, the blind girl, and Medusa, but it didn't really go much longer than after this. I only worked on it for a week or two while I was actually in the middle of my sunburn recovery. There's storyboarding. I drew out Medusa humanized and I wrote out her little story and all that. And here we have a butterfly, which is actually inspired from a poem that my friend sent me. It was going to be a poem about Hades and Persephone or something about the moon. It was one of the two, but nonetheless, butterflies came out of it. And here, for a little while, I was really obsessed with Greek mythology, hence the butterfly, Medusa, so I thought I could be kind of like a Lore Olympus 2.0, but my own version, and it didn't work out because I realized that I wasn't really motivated to do it all the time, so it wasn't something I continued on with. But however, this project that I'm currently working on, I'm still working on very heavily. This is the original character designs of my 3 OCs for my main story. This is Church. His name is now Morgan Daniels, and her name is still Avery, but it's spelled differently, Avery Williams, and this is something that I'm still working on. You guys see me post about it all the time. In fact, I cosplay them on TikTok all the time. Well, last summer, what I was doing to kind of help me motivate to keep me writing was I would draw out these cute little comics, and for a while I shipped Church and Hancock together. And obviously, this was another comic that I was actually really proud of, especially of this anatomy, because I, at the time, was not really good. I'm still working on it, and as you can tell, even with this, what is that? What is that? I didn't continue it all that much because I went on a family vacation, and I stopped working on it. I went to school for a bit, and that was it. And this was going to be the August Meet the Artist page that I was going to do of 2019, but I did not continue it because someone made a comment about how I drew my noses. Even though it is something that I still do to this day, I felt really uncomfortable, and I actually stopped drawing for a bit because of this person. And here we have, again, like I said, I was trying to work out different poses, anatomy, and this was just a study, hopefully a work of attempt, and it was me trying to figure out how I wanted the characters to look more of. This is actually one of the original tattoo designs I have made for him. Church, constantly, it is something that I am obsessed with, especially honeycombs. And here we just have more. I was trying to practice drawing with hands, and I had just actually gotten a new set of pens, so I was seeing how they could work with pencil and smearing, and so far so good actually. Some of this is actually on my Instagram under a 15-minute sketch, 10-minute sketch. I used to film a lot in the sketchbook actually. And here we have a page. I was bored. This is actually one of my favorite pages from that summer, not this entire sketchbook, but it is one of my favorites, especially because of how I drew Hancock. I think I definitely drew him way too darker, but I was trying to see if I can draw with Sharpie, and it came to the conclusion that I cannot, but still it looked amazing to me at that point. And over that summer, I was actually really getting into Flash, the show, because my partner was watching it, and there is a thing called multi-universes going on. So what I did was I was drawing one where it was, him happy in pre-war, and then him being dead, and another one. I don't know what I was thinking at this time. And this is actually one that, I find funny to this day, because during this, in 2019, over the fall, there was a game called Outer Worlds that was released, and it was literally called a better game version of Fallout, but without many bugs. So I drew my OC church, and with the OC from our game that we built together, and it wasn't much of a finished project, but it's funny to look at. And here we have, I was just trying to figure out how to draw tattoos on bodies and maybe draw out the proportions. I really still love the beehive thing, and in fact, this is actually a tattoo design that I would have on my body if I did not have breasts. But, that's what top surgery is for, am I right, folks? Just a cute little comic. Honestly, I don't know why I have that in here, to be frank. And this is actually stuff that I drew. If I'm ever on FaceTime with a friend, I tend to get really, really bored talking. So I'll pull out my sketchbook and I'll start drawing. This is an NPC from Fallout New Vegas Old Blue Worlds DLC. And this is just a random person I was drawing. I was trying to figure out how to do that shiny thing that you get in Greaser black hair. And here we have a unfinished drawing of Avery. This was at the time when I decided to redesign her as a person of color. And the reason it is unfinished is because I cannot draw hair. I cannot draw black hair to save my life. I feel terrible about it. And that is actually a goal in my new sketchbook that I would like to work on to do better for my character. But here we have one of my favorite OCs. He is not in my current story, but he is someone that I do love and cherish at all points. And his name is Ash. It at one point was Ashton, but I had to change it because I made the correlation that it was actually linked to my friend's baby, and I didn't really feel right having a character that is a gay man be related to her. So I changed it to Ash. And this is actually one of my favorite drawings of him. In fact, this is one of my favorite drawings out of the whole sketchbook, and this is my least favorite drawing. Of every freaking face I drew in this sketchbook, it's that one, and it's just because of the forehead. Anywho, and here we have some unfinished sketches. At one point, there was always a lot of unfinished. That was just because I couldn't really handle doing a whole lot. And here we have a vent page that I painted over a study that I was doing for layout of furniture and whatever. And this is Hair Zaddy from TikTok. Amazing. Love him. He's a whole vibe check. Up next we have more Ash and his partner Sergio. I wanted to just do a page where it was cute, vibing. It was actually for a TikTok that I never ended up publishing for reasons. And here is my drawing from May 1st. This is Church for Belton, which is the midway point between the spring and summer equinox. And in canon, I do have it to where, Church is not Christian. He does study his own pagan religions. And this is Avery's character sheet, which I did do a live stream of. I do not know if it's up anymore, but this is a whole character sheet I did. This was my first time working with Prismacolors. And while, yes, there is still a lot of improvement, I was actually very proud with how much effort I put into it, because most of the time at this point I really wasn't doing all that much. And this is actually the design of her jacket on the back, which I hope one day in person I can make, because that would honestly be kind of a sick jacket to wear. Here we have some more vent pages, all that jazz. And here we have Olivia Williams, who is Avery's daughter. I don't actually draw or talk about her a lot, just for the fact that most of my stories, they're more about adult themes. But one of my characters does have a kid, and here it's just another event page, whatever. And here we have, this technically is an event page, but it is for event painting, which is something I do, especially for my dysphoria. And this is one that I had titled "The Body is What I Make It." And this is actually one of my favorite paintings that I did back in May. And here's just, I did more of a bigger one because this is the actual size of how the canvas is, and I needed to see how it would look like. Here we have Ash, and I had filmed some of this on my live stream, and I was going to continue it on this page, but I just never got to it. I probably will be returned to work on it someday in the future, but for now, just that's not really in my plans. Here we have another Draw This in Your Style competition entry. This one is for Tamble. His name is Elliot. He is on Instagram. I will link him down below in the description. He is an amazing person to watch. I really enjoy his art. It's developed a lot, definitely since last year, and this is one of his main OCs, Luca. This was the day that I got my Posca pins back at the end of May, and I was just seeing like how they would work with each other. Obvious that the yellow doesn't really like do well with pencil, so it was just a test. And during Pride Month, I normally have a struggle of getting through the first 3 days of LGBTR. So this year I decided that the first 3 would be gay, lesbian, bisexual would just be Black Lives Matter art, and I don't like the shading of the Posca on this, but again, it was just something to kind of help me get through it all. And here we have polysexual, pansexual, asexual. Now with this person that I will definitely link down below, they are very informative, educational, especially if you were looking for ACE information or LGBTQIA information. I do enjoy their content, especially when it comes to stuff like that. Scoliosexual and omnisexual, these two were actually the ones that kind of made me hesitant to continue on with the prompts, and that is because I started to notice that there was people saying a lot of these identities now are not valid, and rather than dealing with comments like that every day, all day, I decided to just discontinue it. While yes, it is I am pretty proud because I don't really get to day 6 of these. Here is some prompt work that I did for a giveaway piece. The reason that I did not finish it on this is because I did the wrong colors, and I decided to just do a whole piece of paper altogether. I will not be showing that. Here we have another Draw This in Your Style. I will have them linked down below. This is one of my favorite Draw This in Your Styles that I have actually done in a long time, just because of the concept that I did, and it made me really excited that the artist agreed with that as well. And to fill up pages, when it was like the last week of June, I decided to go through my TikTok sounds, and I found that I had one for a monster challenge. So this is a little bee man. I don't quite like the lines behind him, but it's okay. Another vet page because, I'm depressed as hell. And this is actually one of my OCs, Morgan. He is a part of the Morgan system, which is a DID system. If you do not know what that is, I do highly recommend you do some research of your own. This is the core. His name is Morgan, and I will be honest, when my partner created this character and talked about him, he honestly really sounded like a self-insert. So this one especially, I actually found some of his old army photos, and I drew him out, and it's cute. This is Warren, a protector. This is Jep, one of the littles, not a BDSM little, just a child personality, and I have done a video using this cosplay, hence why he's more adult rather than the child form that he is here and here. And here we have Simon. Simon is a caretaker, and instead of doing a whole lot of information on this page or doing a lot of face prompts, I just did it to where he was discussing the recipe of a chicken pot pie. And here we have Peter with an N. The reason that his name is spelled like that is because when I looked up preppy posh names for British men of 2019, this was of the top 10 spellings of this name. You cannot make this up. So it kind of became a little running joke that Peter with an N, kind of like Michael B. Jordan. And here we just have some vent pages. I'm not going to go into them because, you know, reasons. And here we have the final pages. I will be honest, I probably could have did more, but at that time when I finally finished it, I didn't want to draw anything. Finishing a sketchbook to me is always so self-therapeutic because a lot of emotions come through these. I talk about a lot of things in my art that I don't express out loud. And I didn't really want to do a last page where I drew all my OCs saying goodbye, or I did this or that. I just wrote, this is not the end of my story. And much like that, this is not the end of my artwork. But it is definitely an end of this segment of my art. Thank you all so much again for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed getting to see a little bit more me talking about what it's like about my art, like talking about what I do with my artwork and whatnot and all that jazz. Now, there will probably not be another sketchbook flip through for a little bit, as I am currently filling out this one right here, which I'm only about 4 pages in. However, my goal is to attempt to have it done by the end of July. So let's see how that works. However, there is something we immediately do need to talk about. My posting schedule. I, at one point, did say I was going to be uploading every other day with live streams, or between those days I would upload with a video. It's obvious it doesn't happen because I cannot handle that stress that I put on myself. I need to put limitations on what I do and when I do it. With that being said, I will probably be only posting at least once a week, maybe twice a week if I have enough energy to edit and film. That being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I guess I can show you guys a little sneak peek, but the next video is going to be something involving this piece of art. If you would like to see how it's made, then look out for the video talking about this. Anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. If you would like to check me out in other social medias, link down below in the description. And if you want to talk about a certain piece of artwork, comment down below and I will be sure to reply. Bye!